Hello, everybody. It is Chris Hamilton here with salestipaday.com. And we'll get the broadcast started here in about 1 minute. Just got to turn on my Facebook live stream. Give me a sec. Okay, so hello, everybody. Hi, everyone on Facebook Live. This is my monthly LinkedIn webcast that I do. And it's on social selling, but I've got it mixed up. I changed this a bit a few months ago because it's more in tune with how to generate sales leads. So I'm going to talk about 5 ways to generate business or generate sales leads on LinkedIn. And if you just bear with me for 1 sec, just got to jump in things. We'll be starting here in about 30 seconds. Here we go. So I got a few viewers online. I probably have a few on Facebook, and I probably have a few popping in on, I got a few popping in through YouTube as well. So anyways, top of the hour, may as well get started on this. For the people on Facebook Live, usually most of my friends, it's mostly my friends that'll show up on this stuff. If you want to copy this after the fact, or a copy of the video, or how to access the video on this one with the presentation, all you have to do is email me, chris@salestipaday.com. Anyone who's joined up via registering on my website last month, you'll get a copy of this sent to you. And there we go. So I will get started. So the topic today is 5 ways to generate business on LinkedIn. And as I said, if you have any questions, feel free to text me at 403-630-1243. I've got my phone right beside me to answer any questions. It's about half an hour in total, if not, or a little bit less. So, and also the other thing too is I speak very quickly and go over some go over stuff quickly. So if you have any questions, please feel free to text me 403-630-1243. So I also say, why listen to me? The reason you should listen to me is because literally I walk the walk. I use LinkedIn literally every single day for prospecting, and I have for years. I was one of the first people to join LinkedIn. In fact, I joined in March of 2006, and here we are over 11 years later. When I joined, there was roughly 4 million people on the platform. Now there's over 500 million. I was in kind of that top 1% of the first people that actually joined LinkedIn. I've generated hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of sales through LinkedIn. Well, actually, it's got to be millions of dollars of sales through LinkedIn, and generated a pretty nice income for myself leveraging the tool. In fact, right now, I'm part owner of an accounts payable and accounts receivable software company. And a lot of the stuff I'm using is through LinkedIn to ramp this company up. So the other thing I want to talk about is I used to work for a company based out of Boston, and this is about 3 years ago. And I used LinkedIn to penetrate their Western Canadian marketplace to get in front of people. And how I did this, it was just literally, it's finding the right people, reaching out, using people that I can find to make introductions, a whole bunch of different things. But what I found was that when I monitored my progress against my peers, I was booking 10 times more meetings compared to them, and I was getting 30 times more online demos of this company's software just by leveraging LinkedIn. So it is, it is hands down one of the best tools that I've ever used to generate business. By the way, when I did this, I also did it in about half the time of the other reps. So I was just cranking this for them. So give me a sec. Just going to check chat box, see if there's any chats that have come in. And does not look like it. Sounds good. So we can keep progressing here. So I'm going to go into, I got 5 tips kind of to generate business. This is generate business, generate sales leads, whatever it is, on your LinkedIn profile. By the way, anyone that's watching on Facebook Live, I have got my screen turned backwards to me, so I'm not distracted by any questions that may come in. So if you do have questions, make sure that you text them to me at Chris at 403-630-1243. So anyways, back to the presentation. So I'm going to go through 5 things that you can leverage starting literally today to make sure that you're drawing in the right people to your profile, but also reaching out to people and connecting and getting introductions. And what I found with LinkedIn is being passive doesn't get you a lot of opportunities. It's being proactive that's going to help you out. So I've got 3 different things that you can use that are very proactive in nature to get found. But the first one here is we're going to talk about your profile. This is more passive when people come to your profile, or how to get people to come to your profile. So literally the statistics, and these come straight from LinkedIn, is that 50% of B2B buyers and 84% of C-level B2B buyers will go onto LinkedIn to try to find someone to help them with a product or service that they're looking for. Now, half of these people will completely disregard your profile if it's not filled out correctly. So what I'm talking about is, picture, very minimal information, a whole bunch of different things. So I'm going to show you how to leverage LinkedIn to stand a better chance of at least having people reach out to you. So some of the stats I just want to highlight, first of all, is especially by using LinkedIn. So this is a social selling tool. Is that 76% of B2B buyers prefer to work with recommendations. So think about that for a sec. Is that it's, people who know what you do, that you're connected to on LinkedIn, are more apt to make recommendations for you on your behalf. So there's a great way to generate opportunities. Buyers who use social media spend 84% more per purchase. Social buyers make 61% more purchases. Social selling leaders, so people that use social selling, have about 45% more opportunities in their pipeline, but they're also 51% more likely to hit quota. Now, go back to the slide I had earlier, which shows that I was getting 10 times more meetings, 30 times more online demos, leveraging LinkedIn, and that's compared against the people that I competed against. When you see situations like that, obviously you're bringing way more opportunities in the pipeline, and henceforth you're going to close more business. Salespeople who reach out with valuable insight are 5 times more likely to get a response compared to those who reach out cold. So, long story short is that if you're connected with someone on LinkedIn that's kind of within your target demographic, the idea is kind of on a monthly basis, what I would do is I would reach out to these people that are prospects and send them valuable information. Because then what happens is when you actually, you'd be surprised. Some of these people will reach out to you and say, hey, can you give me a hand with this? Because I know you do this. Or secondly, what happens is if you pick up the phone and call into this person, they're going to know exactly who you are because you've been sending them relevant information as well. Now, here's a little tip I'd say is if you're going to send information, don't send it through LinkedIn, through their messaging service. What you can do is if you're connected to somebody on LinkedIn, on the right-hand side, typically you can see some of their information. You click on it. There's a drop-down menu, and a lot of times it'll have it should have that person's email address in there. Take that email and send it to them in an email format, but preface the fact that you are connected on LinkedIn, you've been connected for a while. I just send relevant information out to people like yourself, and then that's the preface to that one as well. Last one is 78% of salespeople who use a social selling process outperform their peers. And that comes from Salesforce.com. So that's the only stat from Salesforce. The rest of them all come from LinkedIn. So now we're going to talk about the profile and how to get up to 15 times more views of your profile. So first of all, if you have a premium account, so you have a paid for account, typically you're going to get about 15 times more views. Now there's a couple of reasons for that. One, I think people that have a premium account spend a little bit more time because they're paying for it to beef up their profile. Secondly, never proven, but maybe LinkedIn is actually giving preferential treatment to people that actually pay them. That's my own personal belief. I don't know whether that's true or not. Putting a picture in, believe it or not, will get you 11 times more views than people that don't have a picture of your profile. So no picture. Also, you get 50% less views. So on the education front, if you put your education in, you get 10 times more views. The other thing too, skills and endorsements. So when you go down, featured skills and endorsements, when you go down in your profile, there's an area that talks about your skill sets and your endorsements. And what you do is you can put up to 50, skills in here. Now, what I would do is I would think seriously about what you do. And what happens is I think there's like over 40,000, about 43,000 different skills that LinkedIn has that you can put in. And you start typing it in, and it will start bringing up recommendations for you. So you put it in there. I would get all 50 or get all 50 of these filled out. And the reason being, I'll give you an example, is that with my accounts payable, accounts receivable company, software company that I have, I often go in and try to find people that have QuickBooks as part of their profile. And when I search on QuickBooks, it brings up, a lot of people's profiles. I go through and I try to figure out where they have this QuickBooks skill. And a lot of the times it shows up in this featured skills and endorsements. So long story short is that if you are in an industry and there's specific things that you do, I'll use an accountant, for example, and they do IFRS, which is, a code or a standards that people use. If you put IFRS in here and people start searching, that's how you're going to get found on LinkedIn. The other thing too, putting more than one job in typically will net you 12 times more views. And so long story short, a complete profile will generate up to 15 times more views. It starts to pull information, and for sure make sure you have your phone number in there, make sure you have a email address in there. If you have a website, make sure you put that in there, and your mobile profile now will pull all that information in. It's an easy way, and it's a click to link. So on phone numbers, if I clicked, if you were on my profile and clicked that phone number, it would pull it up and say, do you want to call this, or email? You can copy it, or you can send an email directly straight through LinkedIn. So there you go. Here's my tips on this first thing about your profile. Make sure you fill it out 100%. The other thing too is, don't write your profile like it's a resume. Think of your profile as a potential client. And how a potential client would engage with you, and sell yourself that way. Use specific keywords so that you get found. So as I said, in that skill set, if you have specific skills that are applicable to your industry, make sure you get them in there so that people can find you. Look at your profile on a mobile phone and see how it displays, and make appropriate changes as you deem fit. And also, one of the things that I found is you give multiple ways for people to contact you. So as I say, I've got my contact information in the summary. I've got my contact information in the area where LinkedIn provides. I've got my contact information in my work experience. It's all over the place. So I give multiple ways for people to reach out and contact me. So that's tip number one. Tip number 2 is what I call the digital referral. Now, the digital referral itself this is a course that I teach. I haven't taught it in a while, but it's a course that I go through and I teach to people that talks specifically to generating the fastest way to get sales leads through LinkedIn. And usually it takes about 8 hours for me to go through this. I'm going through it literally in about 5 minutes, but I'm going to give you a very high level on this. There's obviously a lot more to it than what I do in 5 minutes. But here's the premise behind this. It's not who you know, it's who you know and who they're connected to. And also on top of that, who you're connected to and how do they know what you do as well. So here's an example. What I'm going to do is I went into LinkedIn and I looked up anyone that was a VP sales in Calgary where I live. And it comes up with 16 people that I'm connected to on a first level. Now, if I take that to a second level, that increases from 16 people to 294 people in my market. Now, I think there's a lot more than that, but anyways, that's what happens within my market space, right? That's an 18-fold increase. So there's a lot more people, there's a lot more opportunities in that 294, obviously, than that 16. And so what I do is I leverage connections to make introductions. So for example, let's just say this Byron Blair, who I'm not connected to, he's a second level connection. If I want to get introduced to him, what I would do is I would go to his profile. When you scroll down below the top part, you're going to see highlights and it says 27 mutual connections. When you click on that, what it's going to do is it's going to bring up the people that you're connected to that are connected to him. So then what you can do is you can start scrolling through these connections and see if there's anyone in there that you could leverage to make an introduction to say Byron here or whoever you're connected to. So what I would do then is I would send an email off to my connection to make that introduction to this connection. And the email, I'm going to kind of plow through this very quickly, but it says, can you help me out? That's the subject line. Hello, person's first name. Hope all is well. Hoping you can help me out. I'm taking a new solution to different companies right now. Hoping you can help me out as, I see you're making an introduction to this person. I see you're connected to them on LinkedIn. My solution typically helps companies by doing whatever the benefit is. Do you know this person well enough to introduce me? If so, here's an intro you can use. And so this one is a subject line that says intro to Chris Hamilton. The email bot is hello. A friend of mine reached out to me to see if I can introduce it to you. His name is Chris Hamilton. I've known him for a while. Chris helps companies reduce costs, increase revenue, whatever it is with the product or service that he has. He tells me that companies can typically increase revenue by whatever percent or reduce costs by whatever percent, increase profitability, whatever it is you want to put in there. And then he was, he was hoping that I could introduce to the two of you, and I would want to check first. Do you mind if I connect the two of you? Regards, and then put your person's name in here. So take this, send it to your person in an email, and what they can do is copy and paste this. So here's the scoop behind this: is when you reach out to someone and say, "Hey, can you introduce me to this person?" You're putting the onus on that person to come up with some sort of email or think about it and do all this stuff, right? When you do something like this, you take this right out, you take it, you dumb it right down, and it's like copy paste, put it in an email, send, right? That's all it takes. It takes 15 seconds for someone, maybe 30 seconds for someone to do this sort of stuff. Now, I'll give you an example. I've got some information. So why does this work? So first of all, 76% of B2B buyers prefer to work with recommendations. Only, and this stat comes from the Word of Mouth Marketing Association. A few of these come from Word of Mouth Marketing Association. Only 11% of salespeople have a formalized referral process, yet it results in 65% of all sales. They close at double the rate, spend 14% more, close in about a quarter of the time. You can book 2 to 4 times more meetings with qualified buyers by doing this. And if you apply all this and put it together, literally what you're doing is you're getting about 120-fold leverage factor than if you just sit around blindly waiting for sales leads to come in. By the way, the other stat on this one, I got to remember it off the top of my head, is the 11% of salespeople going after 65% of the sales instead of the 89% going after 35%. The people that are asking referrals or have a formalized referral process are generating like 93% more qualified sales leads that close faster. And it's like 15 times more sales leads. So this is the core and the essence of kind of social selling right there, is leveraging your network, leveraging your contacts, and getting introductions. My results, approximately 40% will introduce me. Of those 40%, about 50, I get about a 50% engagement, which when you look at it, that's a 20% overall engagement factor. Engagement being into an email, into a phone call, into a face-to-face meeting. Cold calling, typically, this is stats from IBM and also from Baylor University, did a thing on a study on cold calling, is between 0.3% and 2% success rate. So let's look at what my success rate is compared to this. It's typically up to 66 times greater. So I can generate up to 66 times more sales or sales opportunities or leads coming in compared to people who are not leveraging a referral process and picking up the phone and smiling and dialing. So that is huge opportunity. Now, I will give you kind of a real world example. So once again, back to my accounts payable, accounts receivable company. I dialed into a distribution firm here in Calgary that could potentially do a lot of business with our company. And what happened was, I have a buddy who works over at E&Y who works with the controller of this company, or the VP of finance of this company that I wanted to get into. They're friends. I reached out to my friend with the exact same thing that I did here. And I've got an introduction. I have a meeting with this guy on Friday. And I know we have a solution that solves a massive pain point for their organization. And this is a great opportunity for my company. This, albeit the sales not going to be huge, but if you put the factor on it, on increasing enterprise value for my company, it will probably increase it $50,000 to $100,000 in enterprise value just by landing this account, it's phenomenal, right? And that's just a simple, straightforward process that I use every day to get those kind of results. So now that's number 2. Number 3 is premium account in-mails. So I talked before about people having a premium account on LinkedIn. And how you find that is when you go on to people, when you search in LinkedIn, you're going to see a little, beside people's profile, it's like a golden box with an in it. And that means that they have a premium account. So this works roughly kind of 70 to 80% of the time is what I found. And what you do is when you go into that person's profile, there's a couple of options you have down below. You have InMail or Connect. So click on the InMail. And then what happens is new InMail message pops up. And down in the right-hand corner, what you're going to see is it says free message. Now, sometimes the way people have their profile set up by default, if you have a premium account, you're able to take or get messages sent to you directly from LinkedIn members, whether you have a premium account or not, whether you have a free account. Now, in this case, what you see is you have the ability to send this person a message. And so what I do is, if I'm going to send this person a message, I'm not sending it all spammy and salesy. I want to provide value. So once again, providing value to these people, 5 times better opportunities to come in the door. So what I did was, at one point in time, I was going after VPs of sales and marketing and sales managers to talk to them about my LinkedIn training. And I created a little course on a site called teachable.com. And it was LinkedIn Social Selling Playbook for Sales Managers. And then what it is I created this course. I gave it a price of $299, but I sent these guys a message, or these people, VPs of sales, a message talking about enrolling in this course for free with a $299 value. So the whole idea behind this is I'm providing value out the gate to this person. And what I would do is every couple of months, I would send messages back to these people and just keep in touch with them, and ultimately engage in a phone conversation with them as well. So that's a great way to do this. Now, here's the scoop. Every time you send an in-mail message, if you're just trying to send it directly without someone having a premium account that allows you to send a free message, it costs you $11. I had my assistant sending 10 to 30 of these a day on the working days. I was spending, I was basically getting about $2,000 to $6,000 of value out of LinkedIn every month just by doing this. So what I did was I had my assistant go in and search by cities, and I started with the largest metropolitan centers down to the smallest ones in North America. And she would go through and look for VPs of sales, sales managers, and anyone that had a premium account. She would send that an email off with a link to this course in there. And she would do, like I said, 10 to 30 of these a day. Took her all of about half an hour to do this. But once again, $2,000 to $6,000 in savings each month. So here's the scoop. Tips: if you're going to do something like this, approach someone with something of value. Don't go in with a hard sell right out the gate. Keep it short. And then what you do is you want to track these contacts. So, when you do this, put them into a spreadsheet, because what happens is if they have a premium account, you can keep going back and sending them emails. Now, don't spam the heck out of them, but once every month or 2 or 3 months, send them something of value. And that way you can keep in front of these people. So that was tip number 3. Tip number 4, it works very similar to what I just talked about in tip number 3. It's group in-mails. So I'm using this same guy, Peter, again, to show you another, just kind of the example between this one. Peter and I are connected through 2 mutual groups on LinkedIn. And one is the oil and gas industries people, and the other one is young oil and gas professionals, Calgary groups. When you go into your LinkedIn profile in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little box that says kind of work. Click on that, and then it's got groups. Then what happens is any groups that you're part of where this person's part of as well, you can send them a message. So how you do this is you go into my groups, type in the group, starting of the group that you're connected into. It'll bring them up. And then what you do is you click on that group. Now, when you click on that group, it's going to bring up the main page. And just below the title, you're going to see the members in there. So there's 9,207 members. When you click on that, it brings up the ability to search the members list. So what happens is I put Peter's name in here. And when I go down over Peter, when I hover over his name, over on the right-hand side, a little envelope pops up. So click on that envelope. And then what happens is it allows you to send a message to Peter. So once again, do the same sort of thing. Send something of value. Now, the preface on this is, though, you can only send 15 of these a month. So make sure you choose wisely in what you're doing and who you're going after, because you could blow through 15 of these very quickly. If I were to put this into a process, you get 15 of these a day, or a month. I would just say, you know what? Just start at the beginning of the month, do 1 of these a day, kind of build it into your prospecting. And then that way, it just becomes automatic to you as well. There is, by the way, another way to approach contacts this way. When you go through the groups and you start seeing people asking questions, same sort of thing. You can go back and send them a message directly through the group the exact same way. So in this case, this person was asking about using Peachtree or Sage Accounting, and if anyone knows of a class on Long Island. If I was running classes on Long Island for Sage or Peachtree, then what I could do is grab her name, go into the group, click on the members, put it in there, and then send a message off saying something along the lines of, hey, look, I offer training. If you want some more information, here's a link to the page. Call me if you have any questions. I can reach out to you in a couple of days and see how things are going, and if there's anything that that we can do to help you out with that. So there's another way to prospect. So we're down to the end here. We got tip number 5, which this is a great way to stay in contact with people at least 2 times a year on LinkedIn. And once again, once you connect with people, it's just basically staying in contact with them and connecting with them. So what LinkedIn does is they have the ability to send birthday wishes, congratulate people on starting a new position, and then also people that are celebrating a work anniversary. So like I say, it's a great way to stay in contact with connections at least 2 to 3 times per year. And a good thing is if someone starts a new job, especially if they're in a sales job, and we're all in sales here, if you're watching the sales and marketing, add a personalized message. So it's something along the lines of like, congrats on the new job. Let me know who's an ideal client and what you do so that I can keep my eyes open for you. So what happens is instead of getting that, hey, congrats on the new job, it's like, oh, this person actually is willing to help me out, right? It's it works wonders when you do stuff like that. So we're right to the end. What I'm going to do, I got a quick little offer here that I'm going to go through as well. If anyone has any questions, sorry, I'm just going to check to see if there are any questions. No questions came in. Any on here? Just give me one sec. Let's see here. So it looks like that is going. And my apologies. Hold on. I just see that I don't know if I've been sharing my presentation or not. If I have not, and anyone's watching here, so I haven't paid attention on this one. There we go. Hopefully I was presenting to everyone. If I wasn't, then what you need to do is reach out to me, Chris at salestipaday.com. And what I will do is I will send you a copy of the presentation, the last one, so that you can see it as well. Now, just give me a sec. I'm going to try to once again present my screen here, and hopefully it is going. The wonders of Google, sometimes it goofs up, right? So it looks like it is presenting now. As I say, if the presentation wasn't presenting before, and I can't tell because I was just going through the presentation, I wasn't looking at the screen, let me know and I'll send you a copy of the presentation from last time so that you can see the actual presentation that's along with it. Anyone who's on Facebook Live watching, same thing, just email me, Chris at salestipaday.com, and I'll send you a link to the presentation. Anyways, last one is the offer here. So look, I built this course, this LinkedIn course through teachable.com. It's got, it's like, I think it's about 40 hours. I got it in here somewhere of LinkedIn training. Includes a bunch of courses that I've created, including the social selling course, social selling playbook for sales managers, 20 LinkedIn tips and tricks, how to nurture LinkedIn connections, a whole bunch of different things. I put up content in there almost on a monthly basis right now. It's about 40 hours of content. Basically, you're going to learn how to use LinkedIn in multiple ways to generate sales opportunities for yourself and get a lot more opportunities. And once again, like I say, I've leveraged LinkedIn. I hate to say I'm a guru because I don't like that term, but it is one of those things where if you look at it, I have been extremely successful through trial and error and spent numerous years trying to figure this stuff out. If I can help shortcut you quickly on this sort of stuff, then it's a win for you, big time. Like I say, you get access to all my future courses and books that I put out. Right now, it's on a monthly basis. It's a month to month. It's normally $39. I've got it up for $19 right now. The main thing about this too is that when you start it, you can quit within 30 days and you get a refund as well. But you still have access to all the content over that 30 days. Basically, the value of this right now is about $1,500, probably closer to about $2,000 now. It's increasing on a monthly basis. One of the things that I often say is, take action. Think about it this way. If you can get 10 new qualified meetings a week by doing the process that I show here, you're getting 50. If you get 50% of those into a funnel and 30% close rate, you're generating a lot more sales on a yearly basis as well. Once again, I go back, 30-day default or money back guarantee, monthly subscribers quit anytime. One of the things that I do talk about is the fact that an average rep in Canada makes about $30 per hour. I'm in Canada, so I use Canada. My monthly plan is, US $19, which is roughly $24, I guess, or something like that. Literally, in the first hour that you work, this course is paid for on a monthly basis. If you want to find out more about it, go to bit.ly/LinkedIn membership site, with LinkedIn _membership_site. And that will go over a lot more information. You see the courses are in there, a little bit of overview and everything like that. And there you go. So, and if you registered for this and attended, then you will get a message on this as well. And last but not least, contact me. Feel free to reach out to me, Chris at salestipaday.com, 403-630-1243 is my phone number. I'm just checking to make sure there's no questions have come in. So I've got a few viewers here, a few viewers there, doing live. Doesn't look like any questions came in. So I'll tell you what, that's half an hour of drinking from the fire hose, and hopefully that information made a lot of sense to everyone here. And very appreciative of the fact that you would spend your time and take in this presentation. I know time is valuable, but hopefully you got enough from it. I'll tell you what, that digital referral that I talked about right then and there, if you can take anything away from this presentation today, that one will skyrocket your sales. just by doing that. So I bid adieu. I have no other questions. Doesn't look like anything's come in. If anyone has questions after the fact, please feel free to reach out to me. Facebook Live people, thanks a ton for tuning in. And everyone have themselves a spectacular day.